guys, welcome back to the channel. So the Afcon draw is done. Yes, and obviously there'll be no Black Stars. We all know what happened in the last Afcon for Ghana. Unfortunately, we could not get into the African Cup of Nations. The last Afcon was a poor one. We were eliminated in the group stages. This time we did not qualify. Sudan qualified ahead of us. Angola qualified ahead of us for the first time in 17 years. They made consecutive AFCON appearances. Run you through the draw, the groups that have been set, and our predictions for those two teams, or even three teams that will make it into out of the group into the knockout phases. We'll look at all that today. As usual, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Click on that notification bell to get more updates. So today the African Cup of Nations draw was held, and the draw it was done in preparations for the next African Cup of Nations, which is in December, an AFCON in Christmas period and a New Year period. So those that will be going will spend the holidays away from their families. Well, it'll be a great time to enjoy another country's AFCON and holidays. But that being said, the draw was held in Morocco. Morocco are the hosts for the AFCON 2025 and also for the next World Cup after next year's own in 2030. They'll be hosting it with Iberian nations Portugal, Spain, and Morocco. It's sure to be an interesting one. So the draw was held, and we got our 6 groups. Group A has the hosts Morocco, Mali, Zambia, and Comoros. Yeah, you'd be quick to say that Morocco and Mali would make it out of this group, but would be smart enough to know it doesn't always go like that. My top picks for this group, obviously, will be Morocco and Mali, despite us knowing very well that it doesn't always go according to the script. But sometimes we have to make these assertions and make these talks. I think Morocco and Mali, looking at their current form, will have African World Cup qualifiers later this year before the African Cup of Nations. Morocco and Mali looked poised to qualify. Mali, however, in the World Cup are in the same group with Ghana, and they've not had a great time. They've changed their coach. Their coach has switched over to join Nigeria Super Eagles. We'll see how that goes for them. Comoros as well is in our group. Ghana, Mali and Comoros will be playing each other in the AFCON and in the World Cup qualifiers once again. So we'll see how that one goes. Comoros are on top of our group currently, and we'll hope to make it into the World Cup ahead of Ghana. But not if we have something to say about that. And my next group is Group B, and it's Egypt, South Africa, Angola, who qualified ahead of Ghana, and Zimbabwe. Angola have shown that they are not a pushover. Finishing top of the group, I don't think they lost a game. They won, most of them drew, 2 of them as well. They are in this one here, and they'll be in the same group with Egypt, South Africa. I'll tip Angola to make it out of this group. I'll tip Egypt to also make it. But strong favorites, strong third place for South Africa. So 3 teams will make it out of this one here. Nigeria in Group C with Tunisia, Uganda, and Tanzania. Yes, so these 4 nations, Nigeria obviously favors to make it out of this group, followed by Tunisia. A strong shout for maybe Uganda. We'll see how that one goes on that front. It's going to be an interesting one. Nigeria Super Eagles are not in a great position when it comes to World Cup qualifying. They also have a new coach. He was at the draw, and he was highlighted when Nigeria was picked. It's going to be an interesting one here. The draw for the African Cup of Nations. Nigeria are in Group C. Group D has Senegal, DR Congo, Benin, and Botswana. So Senegal and DR Congo, my top 2 to make it out. A shout there for Benin, but obviously we'll be doing our AFCON analysis draw later on. These are just after the early polls, after the early draw results, my thoughts as it stands in terms of countries and their form. I think Senegal should make it out. DR Congo should probably join them, and probably Benin, one of the 3 nations, to also make it. So remember, the 4 best third place countries will also make it out of their group. So it's all to play for. Group E has Algeria, Burkina Faso, Equatorial Guinea, and Sudan. Coach Kwesi Appiah finds himself in a group where he would consider his chances as good. In my opinion, Algeria are the top favorites in that group, considering the fact that a third team can make it. Uganda, Sudan actually can be one of that best third place team. Burkina Faso, Equatorial Guinea is also those who are those countries in that group. I think for the sake of some form of patriotism, I'll be following Sudan quite closely. Kwesi Appiah has shown he is a man for the top job. Top of the group in World Cup qualifying, Sudan, they are now in the African Cup of Nations. He says his dream is to qualify them to the World Cup, and it's more important to him than the Afcon. But having both would not be bad. He's got one, it's left with the other one. I think Algeria will make it out of this group. Burkina Faso and a third place finish for Sudan. They could finish second or top. Crazier things have happened. I'm just using the names of these countries to judge most of the time here. The in-depth analysis will be going on the channel. Group F will have Cote d'Ivoire, Cameroon, and Gabon, along with Mozambique. Yeah, and if you remember that name, Mozambique, the other country that Ghana faltered against, and that hand issue with Richard Ofori. Mozambique are there once again. The team they stopped from making it to the knockout phase are not there. That is Ghana. So Mozambique will be happy being at the Afcon. Cote d'Ivoire, the winners and the reigning champions. I'm hoping and tipping them to make it out of the group. Cameroon struggled last time out. I'm hoping and tipping them to make it out of this group. And the final third best place team I would go for is Gabon. I think Mozambique will not make it out of this group as they did last time out with Ghana. And that is my initial draw result and prediction. Ghana is not in the African Cup of Nations for the first time in 20 years. We have to right those wrongs in the World Cup qualifiers. But let me know your thoughts in the comments box. Who are you supporting in these African Cup of Nations? I'm going for Sudan and Nigeria. South Africa, a third country I'll be following. Basically, this AFCON is about following more countries, especially with Ghana not being in it. But let me know what you think in the comments box. How do you think this AFCON will go down? Who do you think will win it? Your thoughts in the comments box. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great evening.